And welcome back to the Delaware Boys Dynasty Football Podcast, which are just your co-hosts tonight. Always a pleasure to talk to you, buddy. How you been?
Doing good, buddy. How you been this week?
I'm good, man. Me and AJ and the boys, Frankie, and for his league had our dynasty draft today. Had a good haul. Walked out with Brees Hall and Treylon Burks in the draft. Pretty excited to add them to my loaded roster already. It was a lot of fun. It's always good to get together with the boys. It's always good to talk football, bullshit. But we had a good time. Trades were flowing in the draft, especially mid rounds. Some value on this board that I really didn't see until I actually started. Like we dove into this class. Like a lot of guys I like, man. Jalen Tolbert, Trey McBride, Khalil Shakir.
Our guy.
Rashad White fell to the third round. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Leonard Fournette's kind of the guy there. I mean, how long are you waiting for Rashad White, to be honest?
Zamir White went before Rashad White. Christian Watson actually fell to I want to say 2.7. I didn't see that coming at all. Yeah.
Wow.
That's it was crazy. Yeah.
Did Sky Moore go before him?
Sky Moore went I want to say 1.9.
Wow.
Kenny Pickett went 1.7. Malik Willis went in the second round, and Desmond Ridder went in the second round.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Pickett 1.6, 1.7, 1.8 range.
Yeah, it was fun. I had to trade to acquire Treylon Burks, though. I gave up Devontae Smith, my rookie 3.6 pick, and a 24 first for Treylon, the pick to acquire Treylon, and a 24 third. So it was a round pick swap. And I told you with Hurts and all of them, I don't know if he can produce 2,000-yard wide receivers. A.J. Brown is an alpha. He's going to be an alpha. I like the role Burks walks into. I'm willing to take that chance on the upside. He being my fourth wide receiver on my roster, but it's been a lot of fun. But we're going to stay away from fantasy football in a general sense today. We got a tier list made for you guys, and I'll pull that up. In a minute. But Ryan, anything you want to say to the people?
Yeah, came a little bit prepared today. Just want to say, anybody watching the video, I love you. He loves you. All the support is appreciated. We're gonna keep going out content, whether we get 25 views or maybe one day 1,000 views. But we're just gonna keep it moving. Try to keep building this community, and look forward to see what we can get into in the future.
All right, Ryan, let's show them what we have for a tier list that we made today. And just like that, here we go, everybody. We're going to talk about when the dust settled and everything. The rookie draft is over. Free agency is over to a certain degree. Most of the meaningful, impactful moves that were made in the NFL that can really, decide a season or decide a playoff team here and there, things like that. We're going to go off this list. We got Super Bowl contenders at the top. Playoff bound, good but not great, not there yet, and trash. And no disrespect to any team we put in the trash. It is what it is, man. You know what I mean? So
yeah, the league is forever evolving talent. Teams are going to be bad for a 5-year span, then be great for maybe 10 if they get lucky with a franchise quarterback. So it's really all it takes.
Ryan, I'm going to give you the first pick, and I'm going to let you place a team where you want to place them, and we'll talk about it.
I mean, we got to each hash this whole thing out. But I kind of want to start with a hard one. What I was kind of thinking of before we went on air. Let's put the Eagles somewhere first. I think they're a little bit of a harder team to rank.
I agree. I do think they had a great draft. Nakobe Dean fell to them in the third. Jordan Davis, an interior D lineman that's bound to replace Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave. I'm sorry. You have that piece there. They didn't address anything in their secondary though. Darius Slay is pretty much alone.
Yeah.
Marcus Epps is ready to take that step. Tyrann Mathieu, he didn't go to Philly like everybody thought, but they added great pieces. I mean, they traded for AJ Brown. They got that receiver that needed to play alongside Devontae Smith.
Much needed for Devontae.
Their whole line is back. Jason Kelsey's back playing football again. There's never been a repeat winner in the NFC East since the Eagles did it. And I want to say it was 2006, maybe 2000. Don't quote me. I want to say 2006 off the top of my head. 2004 sounds right, but 2006 is what I'm going with. I am saying the Eagles, and I'm gonna place them where I think where they should go, and you tell me. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East, and I'm gonna give them a playoff spot.
There you go, playoff bound. Yeah, I don't hate it. They definitely improved the last year. They just won the division. But like you said on before, it's tough to put anybody there. There's no repeat winners in the East ever. I'm a Giants fan. Trust me, it's a revolving door every year. You never know. I think the Cowboys have what it takes to finally make the push. I know people have been saying that for years and years now, but it'll be a close run between the Eagles and the Cowboys this year. I'd be interested to see how it plays out. But like you said, they add A.J. Brown, who's, in my mind, an absolute stud at the receiver position and gives Hurts a true wide receiver one target. No offense to Devontae, but I don't think he's that guy. But I think he could play great in a wide receiver two role. So I think he kind of benefits off of A.J. Brown's arrival. Nakobe Dean is a great ad. They got him super late. It's tough to see that in the draft as a Giants fan. This is an ever-changing list. We can keep him playoff bound.
Okay, fair. A team that I really want to talk about, and I really want to tackle the AFC West. I can't wait for the AFC West. I don't even think
oh my God.
I don't even think they're the best team in their division. But with that being said, three straight AFC championships, 2 Super Bowl appearances, a ring. You lose Tyreek Hill, you lose Tyrann Mathieu, you lose Daniel Sorensen, you lose Melvin Ingram today. Let's talk about the Chiefs, buddy. Let's break it down, man. Patty and the Bunch. What you think, man? They did get a lot of value for Tyreek Hill, though, and I really like the addition of Trent McDuffie. Didn't get a first-round graded wide receiver. All of them went relatively early in the draft. They had to trade up and get wide receivers.
Boards. Yeah.
Right.
I think all of us were thinking that the Packers and the Chiefs were both going to hit on one of these big receivers, and these teams at the top said, nah.
Yeah, and
take those guys.
Second round graded wide receiver though, Sky Moore. It's going to be hard to fill any receiver in that room to fill the shoes of Tyreek Hill. Juju's not going to fill that void. Juju's going to come in and play solid and play tough. He's gonna be a zone beater. He's gonna come in and do things like that. That over the top speed presence with the ability to just get open and create after the catch. It's hard to replace, man. Tyreek Hill is a dog. It's hard to replace a Tyreek Hill, man. So, like I said, I don't even have the Chiefs as the best team in their division.
I mean, that's just close call. That division is so stacked. I mean, yeah, I would say that the Chargers are a very good argument to be better than them based off them getting better in this offseason and the Chiefs getting worse. But end of the day, though, they still have Patrick Mahomes, and the departure for Hill kind of sucks, but Pat plays just fine without him. I think he figures it out. The defensive side of the ball gets worse. That might be a little bit to worry about. I mean, you saw last year already the way it was between Allen and Mahomes. That defense couldn't hold off a great offense like the Bills. Definitely something to worry about there.
So you play that game. So you play that Bills-Chiefs game right now, where the draft just happened, rosters as is. You think Josh Allen gets it done?
I mean, you lose Tyrann, who I think is a game changer on the field. He's a great leader, all the above. I love Tyrann. That sucks. But he goes to the Saints, and it's a great landing spot for him there. But nonetheless,
welcome home, baby. Welcome home.
Yeah, for real. Good for him.
Him and Jarvis. Welcome home.
Jarvis landed back there too. I was just about to say that. But back on the Chiefs, yeah. And then I get it. Sky Moore kind of profiles as Tyreek Hill, but you can't chase after a Tyreek Hill. I mean, this guy's just electric on the field. Quick feet. He's fastest in the league, or maybe not. Him and DK have a bet for 50,000, I think, which is interesting. We'll see how that plays out. But I still think they're right on the edge of contenders for me. Even with departures, I just think Mahomes got the dog in him, man.
I got nothing against Patty. Like I said, dude's resume to this point is beyond special. Like I said, 3 AFC championship appearances, back-to-back Super Bowl trips, a Super Bowl ring for Patty. Patty's 26 years old. We haven't even possibly seen the best of Patty. You know what I mean? And that's scary to say.
Yeah.
I'm good with putting them there. I mean, you have what, 4 or 5? Is it 4 or 5? I want to say 4, but yeah, 4 straight years of 12 wins or more. I don't think they fall off drastically.
Yeah.
I just think the AFC West is an absolute bloodbath. So I'll put them there. But like I said, I don't think they're the best team in their division.
But I think it's also okay. We'll get into that later. Actually, you want to just knock it out now? Get the Chargers out of the way?
Oh, man, yes. I already am putting them there. I'm going to lock it in for both of us because I know you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to it. They told me that Justin Herbert wasn't good enough because he wasn't vocal. He wasn't a vocal leader out of Oregon. He wasn't emotional. He didn't play an emotionally driven game. At times, his accuracy fell and let him down at Oregon. Spread offense, it usually makes QBs thrive. There was times he struggled at Oregon. And you know what? Guess what? The dude is a beast. Justin Herbert is the next star of stars. Love the kid. Kid is a beast. Then last year you address your O-line. You go get Corey Linsley. You go draft Rashawn Slater. This year you go get Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, and you draft another first-round caliber guard in Zion Johnson in the draft. You bring back all your offensive pieces. Your defense gets better, and you hired a new fucking training staff.
Thank God.
Thank God
for Herbert.
Thank God, because if I were Tyrod Taylor, I'd sue them until the world was at my feet.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in all seriousness, I mean, they split with Kansas City last year, and the game they lost came down to who had the ball last. Herbert is ready to play in these big games, and I'm all in on the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I am too. You can't ignore them. It's tough they didn't make the playoffs last year. The Raiders almost had mercy on them and let them tie so they could both make it in the playoffs.
I'd have been pissed, by the way. I would have been really pissed.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Oh.
I'd have been really pissed.
True. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We didn't get to see them in the playoffs. I think the team for sure makes playoffs. I think once they're in, Justin Herbert's special, man. He's got an absolute cannon for an arm. Him and Keenan Allen have an amazing connection on the field. Him and Mike Williams have worked up a rapport over last year. Eckler is a beast. The offensive side of the ball is taken care of already, and then you go to the other side and add a game changer in Khalil Mack. Even though he is older, he still has a huge impact on the field. And J.C. Jackson, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, to clamp whatever is on the other side of the line of him is going to be special. I'm excited to see them play this year.
And the fact is Khalil Mack gets to play with Joey Bosa.
Yeah, on the same side.
Joey Bosa. We're talking about a top 5 pass rusher in football. Joey Bosa. I mean, I have TJ Watt, but I don't have TJ Watt playing with Joey Bosa. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's going to be so fun to watch. So fun to watch. And there were some things they needed to address their interior line a little bit. I want to say the last 7-8 weeks of the year, they were allowing 120 yards on the ground. You do know if you can control the clock against the Chargers, you can beat them. They made a lot of moves. I love this team. On paper, I love this team.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, and I looked at a stat today. I meant to send it to you on PFF. It was actually pretty interesting. Keenan Allen in man-on-man coverage had the most routes won in football last year. Going into his age 30 season, everybody's saying you're going to see a decline. Keenan Allen's a dog.
Yep. No. I mean, as long as he has Herbert, he doesn't have nothing to worry about. He just go out there and catch the ball. But no, I think, in all honesty, I have them as Super Bowl contenders in a long time. I think it's the same thing with Josh Allen. It's only a matter of time before Herbert gets his Super Bowls in. The time will come. I think they got a shot this year. I can't wait, though. I'm a huge Giants fan, but if I had to support another team, it would easily be Herbert and the Chargers.
Yeah, I love Herbert, man. I do love Justin Herbert. But since you want to talk about Josh Allen, let's get it rocking.
Get it rocking, baby.
I think we both are going to agree where I put the Buffalo Bills on this list. Let's do it. I read an interesting stat today. Josh Allen is, I want to say, 7th all-time in career rushing touchdowns. He's only played 4 years. He's got 31 rushing scores in 4 years. He needs 5 to pass Vic and like 6 to pass Randall Cunningham.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's stupid.
Josh Allen is a special talent, man. I never knew what he was going to be. First 2 years in the league, I was very, very hit or miss with Josh Allen. The running upside really kept him on the field. Yeah. Then year 3 comes and Stephon Diggs, and he explodes. Back-to-back years, QB1. Josh Allen is the QB you want leading your offense. I am comfortable with Josh Allen in any big game. Like I told you, I still think that we would be watching that Bills-Kansas City game if they let them play. That was insane.
Sure. That would have been the greatest and longest game of football in history if they would just let them keep rocking.
Other than the 28-3 comeback, it is top 5, one of the greatest football games I've ever watched.
Yeah. I've never seen so many touchdowns in like a minute, 30-second span. Right. It was insane.
Right. And just Travis Kelce does what he does, beats the zone, 13 seconds. Like, it was just crazy. Bills lose Cole Beasley. Not worried about it. Lose Emmanuel Sanders, not really worried about it. They drafted a burner in Khalil Shakir. Like Khalil Shakir, very fast guy, offers a lot of speed. Gabriel Davis, that 200-yard, 4-touchdown game in the Kansas City game. I really thought he came on. I'm a fan of Gabriel Davis as a wide receiver too. Dawson Knox showed out last year too. Big fan of Dawson Knox. You draft James Cook to play alongside Devin Singletary, and we all know the last 9 games Devin Singletary really showed out. Played really well down the stretch. I think that pass catching running back is something that's important. Josh Allen isn't really known for dumping the ball off to any running back. This team, consecutive 12-win seasons, I'm all in. I think Josh Allen's due.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not have the Bills as a contender? They're great. Both sides of the ball, too. Tre'Davious White's great. I'm a big Virginia Tech guy, so I got a little bit of bias here, but I think Tremaine Edmonds is an animal out there.
Absolute animal.
So they're covered on both sides of the ball. But at the same time, they couldn't stop Mahomes to save their lives. So
not many people can.
Yeah, this is true. But nah, man, Josh is special. He's going to bring one home for the Buffalo Bills fans. That's long and well overdue for them. I'm so excited for their fans' reaction when they finally get one. One of the better fan bases in the league.
They did lose. I mean, they did lose a couple pieces. The Steelers, we signed Levi Wallace, lost the interior D lineman, Freddie Hughes. But that defense for the main part's intact. They're tough against the run. They're tough against the pass. They're a physical team. And the best thing about it is they play in the cold weather. Playoff football in the cold is, if you're used to that, that's always an advantage. It always seemed like in the middle 2000s, like games are going through Foxborough, going through Pittsburgh, things like cities like that, Baltimore, New York, anything like that, like any cold city. It always seemed like if you can play under those conditions and you can succeed and you can run the ball, you can win football games. I like the Devin Singletary James Cook combination. Singletary is actually he showed me a lot over those last 9 games, and I think James Cook brings an element to this team that they didn't have. They wanted J.D. McKissick. He goes back to Washington. I like the James Cook draft pick. I'm excited to see the Bills play. I don't want to play them, but we did beat them last year. I did not expect to beat the Bills week 1, and we did.
True. Bills are great. But let's go. Who are we thinking next? Let's go.
I want to do a team that's had. Let's do the Seahawks.
Seahawks. I mean, right off rip, my gut reaction is just throw them in the trash section and keep it pushing.
I guess my thing to you is like that trade for Russ, was a big trade for them. A lot of draft capital that I think they're gonna come correct on. A tight end to go alongside DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Noah Fant, who you're bigger on than me, but Noah Fant, a good talent coming out of Iowa. A D tackle in Shelby Harris. They draft Charles Cross at the 1-9. They get their premier running back. They're cutting cap space. They let Bobby Wagner go, which sucks for the fan base, but I mean, relatively where you're at, you're not competing. Is it smart? Probably save some money. And then you re-sign Quadri Diggs. I think they have a plan. A lot of draft capital come in from that Russ trade. Throw them in the trash pool, I get, but I think they're a team that's sitting pretty with where they're at. Not a lot of money invested in a lot of guys. Are they going to lock up DK? Probably. But I like where they're at, like in the rebuild. I think their rebuild is going to happen a lot faster than most.
Here's the thing. They have, for pieces built already, strictly talking for right now, they have what? DK and Kenneth Walker.
Like I said, realistically, Tyler Lockett's probably going to get traded at some point.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett's going to be gone or not good enough to be on the field anymore by the time that they're good again. So you can kind of
do you like Noah Fant?
Not as a long-term option. I mean, I like Noah Fant. Like Noah Fant. I'm not as high as I was before. I'm realistic about it. I think he can be a good tight end, but is he going to be ever great? I don't think so. I mean, looking at probably the top tier, like at the top of his game, like a Dawson Knox level. I'm not mad about not there yet. I just think that if they're not there yet, they really have to hit on their picks that they got. I mean, they got Charles Cross, which is great.
Charles Cross. You talk about premier left tackle coming to your team. Charles Cross is it. I don't care about Dwayne Brown, buddy. You want to walk? I'm not paying you. Bud. I got Charles Cross. I care less.
Yeah, facts. I got Charles Cross pick. You gotta get a quarterback. Drew Lock is not the answer. Broncos found that out very quickly. They got rid of him and got in Russ. Great for them. I just think they're going to be terrible this year. You're looking at probably a top 5 pick guaranteed, right? I mean, I get they're not there yet, but
I mean, we look at it. I mean, you got Houston, probably definitely top 5. If they don't take the proper steps, the Jags top 5.
I mean, how can you say that? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. We'll get into it later.
All right, I'll go ahead and I'll let you put it there. I'll put you in trash. I'll let you take the Seahawks pick. I'll let you put that there.
Now, put them in not there yet. We can move them when we come back. I just want to prove a point because
we're good. We're good.
All right.
I like it.
So just let's have a chat with the Jags real quick. So let's have a conversation about the Jags.
Okay. I want to straight up talk about the Jags because so here's why I'm at with it.
Okay.
Best player on the board. No questions, Aiden Hutchinson. No question. Trayvon Walker is there. You see him as this high upside piece that can be an absolute star. Fine. But you take the guaranteed talent. You just passed on a Nick Bosa type guy. This dude is a monster. Absolute monster. I guess it's cool that he gets to stay in Detroit, hometown Michigan boy. That's cool. But if I'm the Jags and I didn't take Aiden, I'd be pissed. I then broke the wide receiver market to pay Christian Kirk. I didn't pay Tyreek Hill. I didn't pay Devontae Adams. I didn't go get a guy in a trade in Deebo Samuel. None of that shit. I then traded for Zay Jones or signed Zay Jones, signed Evan Ingram. Didn't address any offensive line issues.
True. I just want to say, I know Evan Ingram bad on the Giants. Could be something on the Jags, though. Just a little side note.
Yeah, and I liked him when he come. I liked him when he come out of college. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the thing is like these are moves that don't make sense.
True. I mean, I hate the Christian Kirk signing, but here's the thing with them is like I kind of lean more towards not there yet because they have their franchise quarterback. They have Trevor Lawrence, who we definitely haven't seen the best of. I mean, he spent a year with John Gruden, so I think it's unfair to put him in the trash category. For now, they have their franchise quarterback, and that's very important for this league. You can't win without a quarterback. I think they got a good one. I think we're going to see what Trevor Lawrence really is this year with the actual coach. I think Doug can lead them to a way better team than he had with that bum. Excuse me. Yeah, I guess that's where I'm at. Plus, they have ETN, who the injury sucks, but technically he still is a great running back.
Bro, both their running backs coming off significant injuries. One an Achilles tear, one a Liz Frank. The only thing I liked about the Jags draft was Devin Lloyd. That's it.
Devin Lloyd, great pick. I love Devin Lloyd.
But you know what? Because you want to talk about their franchise QB, they can go there.
I mean, I'm not mad if you're going to put him in trash.
I do. But I'm going to let them go there because you are right. They have Sunshine. That's their guy.
You're up, buddy.
Man. All right. I'm ready. And I'm placing them where I want to place them. Let's get it. The New York Jets.
Okay. I'm happy there. I honestly thought you were going to keep going up to good, not great, and we would have had a real conversation right there.
No, I'm realistic.
All right. Yeah, they sit pretty. They sit nice and pretty in the not there yet category. They're making all the right moves. They're doing things for Zach Wilson that they never, ever came close to doing for Sam Darnold. So I think the support they're bringing them is only going to benefit the team. You add Breece Hall, which gives you the availability to open up the pass for Zach Wilson. I mean, you're talking about Breece Hall, who is a legit RB1. Sorry, I'm not talking about fantasy here. I hate to bring it up, but in the league, and he's just going to be a beast. He's going to bring so much to that offense. Michael Carter, good, not great. Not going to draw the attention of defenses the way Breece will. It'll be interesting to see how that offense works out. Plus, they already have their receivers. They back-to-back drafts Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson, and I love both of them. So if Zach Wilson's going to do it, this will be it.
Yeah. So here's where I'm at with the Jets. To me, they had the best draft in the NFL. Outside of the Eagles with the A.J. Brown trade, I think they had the most impactful draft in the NFL. Sauce Gardner at 4. I didn't have him as my number one corner. I had Derek Stingley. There were times where I thought Sauce Gardner played a little bit too handsy, and in the league, we all know that's going to get called via Eli Apple going into New York. And granted, I think he's a lot better than Eli Apple, but I'm saying he's got to work on some things when it comes to playing with the hands. You take Garrett Wilson at 10, then you trade back into the first round where my favorite pass rusher, obviously like Aiden Hutchinson is the best pass rusher. And I'm not dogging Kayvon. Great pick for you guys. I love Jermaine Johnson. Love Jermaine Johnson at Florida State. The only thing that he lacked was that quick first step that Kayvon had. Kayvon has the nastiest first step I've seen. It's so quick.
Disgusting. I love to see it.
Right. And we'll get into Kayvon when we talk about the Giants, but Jermaine Johnson, great pick in the first round. Then you go get Breece Hall in the second round. All you have to do is trade up 2 picks in the second round. You got Breece Hall. Now you're looking at, and then you added Lakeland Tomlinson in free agency. You drafted Elijah Vera Tucker, Mekhi Becton, your left tackle. Mostly your line set. The only thing I'm worried about is you have 2 speedy receivers in Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson. Really not a huge red zone guy there, like a big body. I like Corey Davis, but Corey Davis is what he is.
They got Uzuma. Did pretty good with the Bengals.
I like Uzoma. I also like that kid they drafted out of Ohio State, Jeremy Ruckert.
True.
He was very, very athletic tight end. Very good hands as well. I think this team's on the rise. A lot of people will dog the Jets, dog the Lions, all these guys. But like you said, regimes change, coaching staffs change, schemes change. The NFL is a revolving door. There's no way the Jets and all these teams are going to be bad forever. And I think that Robert Saleh is going to bring a winning mindset. I think him and Zach Wilson are going to figure it out. And I think this team is on a serious uprise.
Yeah, no, we might see something for the Jets after all. I'm a Giants fan, so naturally the hate for the Jets is real. But I've always had the mindset that they will never be great. I think if Zach Wilson is who he's supposed to be, they have a legitimate shot to be great. But that's a lot to put on Zach Wilson. I don't love him, but he's a rookie last year, right? You can't expect too much. So if he can make that step with what he has now, we'll yet to see this year. But yeah, we'll see.
I'm a big fan. I told you that I'm a big fan of what they're doing. Like I said, I'm ready to see that ascension. I don't think a 7-win season for the Jets is out of question. Obviously we talk about that as like a number that's like, oh shit. You know what I mean? For how bad their franchise has been, I mean, dude, between Joe Flacco getting spot starts, between Mike White coming in and doing his thing. Remember, they beat the Bengals in December last year. And this roster is a significantly upgraded roster going into next season. And they still have draft capital. I'm excited for this roster.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better. And I think it actually becomes a decent free agent destination.
I mean, obviously you look at free agents on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's where they need the most help at this point. They had Sauce Gardner, which is could be a premier cornerback for them. You're right though. I was surprised you said Stingley was your favorite, but me and you had a back and forth about Stingley. He's also my cornerback one this year, but I didn't mind Sauce. I think I didn't either. I think he plays the hands thing's a problem, but I think he just plays the position aggressively.
He is. He's very aggressive. He reminds me a lot of a Richard Sherman type attitude, a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger. The thing is about it is Richard played in a zone coverage scheme the whole time in Seattle. He kind of got bailed out when you have Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor over the top.
Damn.
Let's go, baby. Granted, he does have Marcus May over the top. I like Marcus May, a young and upcoming safety. But Sauce is going to get a lot of one-on-ones with some great receivers. And his first big test is going to be Stephon Diggs. You know what I mean? Me and you I tell you this all the time. Corner is the hardest position to predict if somebody's going to be a dog or not. You can use your confidence so early at corner. I mean, there's not many Jalen Ramseys that come in anymore. You know what I mean? Jair Alexanders, those type of guys. But we're going to see. I'm going to let you pick the next team, Ryan. Let's talk about
it. Let's go with my boy Smitty's team. Let's get into the Minnesota Vikings a little bit.
You know what?
We'll start a conversation before we put them anywhere. They retain Kirk Cousins. Obviously, he's still there. I think there was a little bit of question whether he's going to be there or not for about a month and a half there. But he stays. They still have Jefferson. That top 2 receiver in the league. Depends on who you talk to. So they're great. They're such a tough team to place though. I feel like games get away from them a lot, and it kind of prevents them from being like a playoff bound team. Seems like field goals always fuck them over. They get killed in special teams. It's an uphill battle against themselves every season, it seems like.
Yeah, the Vikings, man, like they're a weird team. They beat us. I mean, they came into Pittsburgh and beat us. I mean, Kirk Cousins, I like Kirk Cousins. Everybody says he's vastly overrated. I actually want to flip the script and say he's vastly underrated.
Underrated. Yes. Underrated.
I think he's a great passer. It just seems like when the lights shine bright, there's something about Kirk that it just seems to disappear. I don't want to say it's the Andy Dalton effect, but anytime Andy Dalton played in a primetime game, he disappeared. And Andy Dalton actually had a pretty solid career in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, obviously Jefferson.
Real quick.
What's up?
Way better than Andy Dalton ever was.
I agree with you. But I'm just saying, like, Andy Dalton was a solid QB in Cincinnati. Put up solid numbers. Biggest piece on your roster, obviously, being Justin Jefferson. A lot of your roster is aging, though. Dalvin Cook is getting older. Thielen's getting older. Not a whole lot there for the offensive line. Harrison Smith's getting older. You re-signed Patrick Peterson. He's getting older. It's not the Vikings defense from 2018. That's clearly evident. They play in an NFC division that isn't that bad. Outside of Green Bay.
Yeah.
Outside of Green Bay. I'm willing to say they have a winning record. I'm willing to say they win. I'll push it. I'm gonna say 9 games. So I'm gonna put them in the good but not great.
Yeah, it's probably the right spot.
That's where I feel.
They have too much going against themselves. Every season, it seems like. I feel bad for them. Kind of like how the Chargers were with Phil Rivers. I think that's kind of flipped over, and now it's the Vikings that are getting dunked on every season.
Let's see. Who do I want to attack next? Actually, I know exactly, and I want to talk about them because I love what they're doing as well. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions. I definitely don't have them in the trash bin. Aiden Hutchinson, great pick. The Vikings trade from 12 to 32. Division rival. That's rough. They draft Jamison Williams. Jamison Williams gets to play alongside Amon St. Brown, gets to play alongside TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift. They have a great O-line, Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell. I mean, we can keep going down the list.
Sneaky good offensive line. Kind of slept on.
Yes, and I'm telling you now, I have them inside my top 8 offensive lines. They are good. Yeah. They're dogs. They're big, and they're physical. The only thing they're missing.
Dan Campbell way, baby.
The Dan Campbell way. Was it 2 years ago or 3? Jeff Okudah, first-round pick, number 3 overall, corner, has really dealt with some injury history, like the injury bug. An Achilles injury for him last year. Not sure how that's going to bounce back. Sucks to lose a guy like Jeff Okudah, who you thought was going to be a dog out of college. But you add Aiden Hutchinson. I personally love what Detroit's doing. I think they're a QB away from being an offensive force, absolute force. I'm excited to watch this team. Other than the Jets, I think they're the more exciting teams that we're going to put in this category.
Yeah, I hate Jared Goff. I'm not excited to watch them play this year. I think they're going to be bad this year. I think I think Jared Goff is a hindrance wherever he goes. I don't think he's a good quarterback. Ever since he got drafted, I've never had the mindset he was going to be great. McVay carried him. It was very apparent last year when he played with the Lions. You're 100% right. They're a quarterback away. The scary thing is they are bad, but I don't think they're bad enough to have 4 or 5 wins. It's going to get them a high-end pick. They need a quarterback next year. They might have to move up. But I think next year's class is definitely worth it for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely a quarterback away. The offense is set for a great quarterback to plug in. They just have to find them, whether it be free agency next year or through the draft. Either way, yeah, Jamison Williams addition, he's great. Coming in injured, but he'll get over that. They're definitely thinking long-term value there over anything else. Yeah, the Lions could be great with Dan Campbell.
Since you want to talk about Sean McVay, you know where this is going, baby. Can
Throw
they
him up there.
can they run it? Can they run it back?
Can they run it back?
I know it's hard to do. We talk about it all the time. It's so hard to do. Last person to go back-to-back Super Bowls, I mean, just trips, was Pat. Patty did it. Patty went back-to-back, lost one, won one.
Yep.
I put this team in the same caliber as those Chiefs teams. You lose Von Miller, Andrew Whitworth retires, some rough things, but hey, guess what? I'm going to add Bobby Wagner to my defense.
Yeah, no, it's unfair.
Aaron Donald's coming back. He contemplated retirement after the Super Bowl. He's back. You got Ramsey. You know what I mean? You just add Allen Robinson to replace an oft-injured Odell Beckham. I love this roster. I love the Rams. If they lead the league in wins, nobody's surprised.
Right.
Sean McVay and Matt Stafford, that's a hell of a combination. Everybody's excited to see Cam Akers. Me personally, I'm not. I know the Achilles injury, he rushed back. I thought he looked awful down the stretch. Wasn't excited. I wasn't excited that they rushed him back, but we'll see. I mean, this aerial attack is nuts. They are so good. So Rams, like I said, if they win 14 games, not surprised.
Yeah, not much to say about the Rams. They just won the Super Bowl. They have a great chance to be back. I think they got better. You already touched on everything. I think the Rams are set and forget Super Bowl contenders. We can kind of just keep it pushing at this point. Let's kind of do a little bit of a tough one here. The Colts add Matt Ryan to their roster in favor and getting rid of Carson Wentz. Do you think that puts them in playoff bound with what they have with their offensive line and Jonathan Taylor? Or do you think Matt Ryan is going to struggle a little bit at his older age?
So this is the best offensive line Matt Ryan's ever played with. Matt Ryan doesn't even have to be great. You can be a game manager and be fine. You have the best running back in the league. You have, you know what I mean? You get to play with Jonathan Taylor. You have Michael Pittman. You drafted Alec Pierce, who I like out of Cincinnati. I'll give a shout out to Frankie. A big fan. He's a big fan of Jelani Woods. There must be something that Frankie's seeing out of Jelani Woods. Very athletic guy. You had Stephon Gilmore to a defense.
Yeah. He was getting older, but I mean, does that really matter at the end of the day?
But it's still a great veteran to have on your defense.
Yeah.
Great veteran. Everybody thought that Darius Slay was sort of washed when he went to Philly. And guess what? Darius Slay's an all-pro. I think they're better than Tennessee. I really do.
I don't disagree. I think Tennessee was kind of a fraudulent 1 seed last year. I kind of saw them bouncing right after that. They got their bye. I don't know. I think they kind of stayed stagnant this offseason while other teams were getting better.
Yeah.
So,
and I think the Colts got better, and I think they're going to win the AFC South. I'm willing to put them in a playoff bound spot, obviously because they're going to be a division winner.
Yeah, for sure. Throw them up there. That was my argument. I thought I was gonna have to fight for them to be up there. Our roster I really like. Their defensive side is fine too. Actually, they were set to make playoffs, weren't they? And then Carson Wentz lost against the Jags, so they were
unfortunately. Yeah, Carson Wentz threw the game against the Jags.
They're pretty much already there in the playoffs. I think they make it this year, and we get to see JT in the playoffs, which will be, I think, pretty fun.
And how do you win in the playoffs? You run the ball.
Run the rock, baby.
A team that so we have one of the teams in the same division as a Super Bowl contender. A lot of changes happening down south. You add Tyreek Hill, you add Teron Armstead, you add Cedric Wilson, you add Connor Williams. Didn't draft a running back, but you added a running back room that's collectively, they got some pieces, nothing exciting, but they're there. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Gesicki, Cedric Wilson, Tua's healthy. Their corners are locked up. Their defense played great after the first 8 games of the season. Where do we have the Miami Dolphins?
So this is one we're going to have a back and forth about. Even with all the additions with Tyreek Hill and all that, I'm still not ready to put them playoff bound. I really don't think Tua can get them there, to be honest with you. Plus, they're playing the division with the Patriots and the Bills, which I think are probably better off than the Dolphins.
Are they though? Is New England better off? Are
Bill
they?
Belichick is Bill Belichick. You know what I mean?
I
They
get
figured
it.
out they won a game last year throwing the rock 3 times.
They did. They did do that. That's great.
I mean, Bill can get the job done, given any situation. He's a great coach. I don't like Tua. You know this. I've made it vocal. I had him as like a ranking in general, and for Dynasty it's a little bit different, but I had him at like 19. That's not playoff quarterback range for me. I don't think the addition of Tyreek Hill boosts him up that much more, to be honest with you. Good, not great for me. I can't say that they're bad. That's where I'm at with it. But I'll let you do your rebuttal.
The only reason that they might not be playoff bound is because of how loaded the AFC West is. But I do think they're good enough to win 10 games. I do. Which is hard to say because they got to play Buffalo and New England for 4 total games. I like this roster. I really do. I think adding Tyreek Hill to play with Jalen Waddle is an absolute cheat code that's a cheat code. Defensive coordinators are not going to be able to scheme for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And then on top of it, you have Gesicki. Tua is a first-round pedigreed quarterback, drafted number 5 overall. Has he shown it? No. But year 3 is usually a make-or-break year for quarterbacks.
They loaded him up. This is Dolphins saying this is it. You don't got.
And I didn't even mention Teron Armstead. I forgot Teron Armstead.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be upright. He's going to be able to let things develop. I mean, the possibilities with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are endless. And like I told you, buy into the upside. I think this is one of the most explosive offenses in football. It can be. I really do. Like I said, I'm going to let you put them here. I'll let you put them here, but I think they should be playoff bound.
So you think with as loaded as that whole conference is, you think they got a shot, even with the Bills making it in, even with the Chargers, Chiefs, or Bills eating up wild card spots? You still think the Dolphins can keep up with them?
So seven playoff teams. Realistically, Bills win the South or Bills win the East. I don't know who's coming out of the West. I had the Chargers personally. But either way, Kansas City and I think one more get in from the AFC South or AFC West. And then we haven't even talked about the AFC North yet. I mean, like I said, AFC is a bloodbath, but I just love what the Dolphins did. I think they are a playoff bound team. I think they personally can be. Like I said, 10 wins for them is not out of the question. And
we'll keep them good, not great. And as we're going along, we see the need to change. We can change it up.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just lock him in now. Final ride could be the last dance for Tom Brady. Everybody came back to play with him. Their roster, like I said, they added a pass rusher in Logan Hall out of Houston. Not a whole lot. I mean, they added Russell Gage, just to fill in for Godwin while he's hurt. Added Rashad White, running back to back up Lenny Fournette. The roster is mainly intact. You lost Ndamukong Suh, technically still a free agent. Gronk's still out there. I personally think Gronk's coming back to play. I think, this is it for Brady. Brady's going to give her one hell of a last ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
The greatest ever step on the field. I never bet against Father Time. I thought Brady would have been done 5 years ago, but he's still playing football, bro. I'll never bet against Tom Brady, man. He's always a Super Bowl contender for me, no matter what.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you have Tom Brady in your roster, you are a Super Bowl contender. But we got to get started rolling through these teams a little bit more. We're running up on time. But let's see. How about the Carolina Panthers? They're an interesting one for me. My gut reaction is trash.
And I agree with you.
I don't think that they are not even there yet. I mean, they have McCaffrey who's aging. They kind of wasted his career, the bulk of his career when they were not put together yet. They have DJ Moore, Matt Corral. Don't think is the answer to their quarterback situation.
I like some pieces on Carolina. I love DJ Moore. I love, Ike Ekwonu. Love that pick for them. They need an offensive lineman badly. He's a great offensive lineman. To me, the best in this draft. Jeremy Chin.
I love Jeremy Chin.
Burnsy, Brian Burns, J.C. Horn. They have some pieces, but like you said, they don't have that QB in place. It's going to be hard to win, especially in the NFC South without a QB. A lot of teams in this division is actually weaker than it used to be, believe it or not, a lot weaker significantly. I'm going to put them in trash. I agree. Carolina has a lot of questions, more than answers.
Yeah, for sure. They're McCaffrey injury away from being just almost unwinnable.
I'm going to put – I hate to say this. I got to do. I think the winner of the AFC North – I'm putting them here. 26 injuries last year, all players to IR. They had a rough go. At one point, Lamar was 7-0. Lamar's a winner. 37-8 since coming into the league. He's an absolute winner. You add Tyler Linderbaum. No first-round center has ever been a bust. Don't expect Linderbaum to be that one. You get Kyle Hamilton. You get Marlon Humphrey back. You get Marcus Peters back. You get Ronnie Stanley back. You get Gus back. You get J.K. Dobbins back. You let go of Marquise Brown. That's okay, but you drafted Rashad Bateman in the first round anyway.
Right.
You add two tight ends. They love to block with their tight ends. Bro, and I'm telling you, this Ravens defense is nasty.
It's a tough call because the Bengals are also so good. But I'd say the Ravens, all the injuries coming back. On top of that, I didn't hear much of what you were saying there, but I just want to touch on their defense getting much better. Their secondary is absolutely insane. I think it's going to be Clamp City in that secondary. I think they have an answer to Burrow, to be honest with you. We'll see how it goes in real time this year, but I think the Ravens got their answer for it. And, I don't mind playoff bound. Definitely better than the Browns and the Steelers, though. Sorry, Steven. But
no, it's all good. I knew it. But I'm saying, like I said, they're personally my favorite to win the North this year. Like you said, no fly zone. That defense is loaded.
It should be illegal. They got Hamilton.
On top of that, like I said, all the injuries coming back, especially your running backs. An element that the Ravens use, they are the best running team in the NFL, have been since Lamar's been in the league. When you don't have Gus and JK back there and you're using Latavius Murray and Devontae Freeman and you're still rushing at a significant rate, that says something. When you have a good rushing attack, it opens up the passing game. It's going to be a lot easier for Lamar. Team healthy, upgraded O-line, upgraded defense. Everybody's back. They're my favorite to win the AFC North.
Yeah, I'm ready. Just they can't kill the players in the preseason. That's stupid. That's the last thing I'll say about them. But we touched on them earlier. We'll see where they end up on this list. I kind of know where I want to put them, but we'll talk about it. They made a weird trade, in my opinion, in the draft and trading A.J. Brown, and in return they bring in Treylon Burks. Probably more of they didn't want to pay the upside price to A.J. Brown, more than not liking the talent. But Tennessee Titans, number 1 seed last year in the playoffs, got their bye week, and then quickly showed they didn't deserve it. Derrick Henry's getting older. I think he's coming off a significant injury for a running back at an older age. We'll see how he comes back. Derrick Henry is different. So this could not affect him at all. He can come out there and rush for 15, 16, 1,700 again. But I think their time in playoffs might be over. I kind of feel comfortable with them good, not great section. Don't love Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. I don't think he could lead a team in the playoffs, even if they did make it. That's pretty much leaving it to Derrick Henry, which running in the playoffs does win, but I don't think that you can solely win in the playoffs just running the ball when you have almost no reliance on your quarterback.
I agree. And I also said they don't draft Malik Willis if they feel comfortable in Ryan Tannehill. That playoff game was one of the worst playoff games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was rough.
I agree with you. Good, not great. A lot of people will say, you talk bad about Derrick Henry. He's one of the best running backs they've seen. Dude is a monster. He is a monster, but he is going to be 29 this year. A lot of mileage on his body, a lot of usage. That wear and tear, that injury was rough. I mean, he essentially broke his foot.
Yeah, in half. Basically, essentially broke his foot in half.
And they didn't get any better. You trade A.J. Brown. I love Treylon Burks, and I think it's a great fit. I have him as a A.J. Brown-esque wide receiver, a good skill set. But is he ready to carry that wide receiver one load early in his career? We'll see. I like Malik Willis as a project. I think that's a project they can develop over the next 2 years, and I think it'll eventually be his team. But I agree with you. I think their run of first round, first seed, first round bye type things is over.
Yeah.
I'm going to, because the NFC isn't as stacked, I'm ready to talk about these guys. I personally don't think that he's going back. Got bounced by San Fran. I'm willing to put him here. Let's talk about it, man. A lot of restructuring had to be done in Green Bay to get this roster under the salary cap. You trade Devontae Adams, Aaron and Devontae Adams are Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison-esque QB wide receiver combos. They've been special. I'm ready to see Aaron play without him. I think it's gonna be an adjustment. I think they're gonna go more run heavy this season. I think they're gonna lean on AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. They kept most of their defense intact. They let go of Zadarius Smith. Kept Preston, but they let go of Zadarius. Fine. Locked up Devondre Campbell. They still haven't locked up Jair Alexander, which is worrisome. But O-line's relatively healthy. You get Robert Tonyan back. Draft Christian Watson, bring in Sammy Watkins, who I don't even think is a lock to make the roster. But they're going to win the NFC North. No question about that. Not a whole lot of competition for them. But
yeah, we got a huge Packers fan that watches this frequently. Sorry, Tanner. But the Packers, if you look at the Super Bowl contenders up here, the Chiefs, Chargers, Bills, Rams, Bucks, they're all teams loaded, ready to go. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks of our generation. Undeniable talent. He's fucking insane out there. But we'll see how he does without a full season of Devontae Adams. He doesn't really have a lot to throw to this year. Like I said, a heavy reliance on Aaron Jones. Playoff bound for sure. Aaron Rodgers will not miss the playoffs, but it'll be tough for them this year to get to the Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, Matt LaFleur has never won less than 13 games in a regular season ever. If that streak does continue, that's fine. But playoff games are all I care about, and that's why I want to talk about this team next too. A team that is getting a lot of scrutiny. Jimmy G takes you to an NFC Championship game. Obviously not a guy that's putting up huge numbers, more of a game manager type leader type quarterback. Heavy reliance on a total team effort when it comes to San Francisco. You have a young kid that's ready to take over, but a lot of people say San Fran doesn't like Trey Lance. I think it's smoke. I love Trey Lance. Me and you both know that. I'm a big fan of Trey Lance. His skill set he brings is a lot different. It's uniquely different compared to Jimmy G. Debo seems like he's staying. Offense is loaded, ready to go. O-line is essentially pretty much intact. You didn't get any worse on the defensive side of the ball. I'm a fan, man. Put me on. I think San Fran's playoff bound.
Yeah. See, I love Shanahan, all right? And I think that might be the only thing that keeps me saying they will go playoff bound. I do think they're throwing a little bit of smoke with Trey Lance. I think it is also concerning that he didn't see any starting at all last year. You kind of saw him experiment a little bit, and then as the season went on, you saw less and less of Trey. I think that throws some red flags a little bit. I still think the talent's there. I love the guy. I hope he works out. But thinking about it as far as division-wise goes in the wild card, in the weaker conference, I think they can still manage to scrape by and get into the playoffs.
Like I said, bud, I love Trey Lance. I think he's going to be a stud. A whole nother skill set to the game that today's NFL is going to. Jimmy G does not possess.
Yeah.
Killer arm, film junkie. I love that. I love a kid that wants to get better inside the film room. Very elusive, very mobile. You've seen that last year. He he loves to take off. He's very shifty. I love it. I love it for his wide receivers too. I love it for Kittle too. And I think they're ready to let this kid take over. See, now this is where it gets tough, man.
We'll get into the icky here. Let's get the other obvious trash team out of the way. Let's just go over the Texans real quick.
Okay, so with the Texans, I don't personally love the Lovie Smith hiring as a head coach. I'm not a big fan. I'll give some love to Davis Mills. I was pretty impressed with Davis Mills with what he had on the roster. It's not a whole lot. Brandon Cooks, I think, is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. I like Brandon Cooks as a wide receiver, aging a little bit.
Yeah.
You draft John Mechie, Dameon Pierce. You don't have a whole lot of answers set. Derek Stingley, I was a fan as Derek Stingley, so I do like that pick.
Yeah, I like Stingley.
But a corner left on the island is a bad thing. He has nothing around him.
Yeah.
Laramie Tunsil. I like Laramie Tunsil, but
ruined that team, honestly.
Nico Collins is okay. Like I said, John Mechie. I don't see the plan, is what I'm saying. If Davis Mills is your guy, cool. That's fine. But to me, Houston has never been a free agent destination. I don't see them drawing any massive talent. So, it's going to be a draft. It's going to be a rebuild through the draft. And I think it's going to take too long.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I don't mind Davis Mills, the Don, as he was called in the last episode of the podcast.
Don, Mills Mafia.
But no, I think the defense is atrocious. They're known for it for the last few years here. Their run defense is abysmal. Nowhere to be found in some games, if we're being quite honest. And they're trash. I don't have anything else to say. They're trash.
Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead. Let's start with this. Let's do this. Let's do it. A lot of things happened in Pittsburgh this offseason. Big Ben retires. My guy. We love you, Seven. Anyway, Tomlin's still your head coach. We bring back a Kelly Weatherspoon. We sign a Levi Wallace. We sign Miles Jack. We get George Pickens in the draft. We get Kenny Pickett in the draft. We get Larangam Neal, DN out of Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Good third-round steal. Second-round graded prospect. Liked him. TJ Watt's still there. Minka's still there. Cam's still there. I love what we did in the offseason. Everybody says, oh, but is this your guy? Is this your quarterback? Guess what? I don't care. We don't have to know because I'm not ready to throw him to the fire. This AFC North, again, is a bloodbath. It's a bloodbath. He's not ready for it. I'm going to put us in the good but not great. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season under his regime. I still think that we can win 9 games, go 9-8, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, though, the 6 games in the division are fucking tough.
Yeah.
Especially if Watson plays. That's why I can't wait to talk about the Browns, because that's the big kicker. But I know where we stand. I think we had an A+ free agency. I think we had an A+ off season in general. I think we're that QB development away from being contenders again.
Yeah. A little bit, if not for Mike Tomlin and your defense and maintaining everybody over there, I would probably say not there yet. But like you said, Tomlin's never had a losing season. I think he could this year, technically. But they're definitely not a bad team by any means. Deontay's a dog. I don't know if you touched on him or not. So whether it be Mitch or Kenny, I think that Mike Tomlin will figure it out either way.
All right, man.
And we get my Giants out the way.
Yeah. You want me to? Hey, check your mic. Ryan, check your mic. Ryan, check your mic. Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah, don't mute me.
No, I said you were fading out. So I didn't hear anything you said about the Giants. I'm sorry. I'll let you go ahead and talk about your Giants. I'll let you play.
I sat there. I probably looked frozen. I was not frozen. I was just going through my head. I think we still belong in trash. I don't think Daniel Jones is the answer. I think we're under good management right now. I think we're going in the right direction. We don't have any great receivers. Our franchise running back is already aging. We lose James Bradbury. We didn't even lose him. We just straight cut him off the roster. He's gone. I thought he was great for us last year. But new regime change, so the team's going to change naturally. We're steps and steps away from being great. We need a new quarterback, so much more. So I'll keep us in trash. I still don't see us being that great this year.
It's not just a this year thing. It's like a long-term outlook.
Yeah,
I could see the Giants being not there yet, but like you said, you're not stolen on your QB. I think this is the line that's going to actually keep him upright, though. I like Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, the combination pairing.
Yeah.
I like the Kayvon Thibodeau pick. I like Kadarius Toney if he's healthy. I don't like adding another gadget type receiver in Wandale to play with Toney. I wasn't a fan of that. Like you said, Barkley's aging. You owe a lot of money to Kenny G that you shouldn't. Some things that, you know what I mean? But I think they're probably going to be the best team not in the trash list, if you want my opinion.
Yeah. But no, I mean, would you agree with me? Would you put them in not there yet? Because
I'm more excited. I'm about as excited for the Giants as I am the Jags. So I could put them there, but they said they have Trevor. You don't.
Yeah. No, they have their answer.
But I am more excited about the Jets than I am the Giants, if you want my honest opinion.
No, that's fine. That's fair. They got something going on over there. We really don't.
All right. I'm ready.
Giants.
I'm ready to get this over with because this is easy. Chicago. Awful.
Let's go. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page here.
Awful. I love Justin Fields personally. I love David Montgomery personally, and I love Darnell Mooney. No help on the offensive line. Coaching change, whole regime change. They said they're committed to Fields, which is great. But if you're committed to Fields, you did nothing for him.
Yeah.
I could care less about Velus Jones, anything like that. They didn't get better. I see this team being a bottom 3 team.
Yeah, we touched on the Jags being up this tier because of Trevor Lawrence. I don't think that Justin Fields is that. Like you said, I touched on the previous podcast. They did nothing to help him at all this offseason. Didn't bring in another receiver, at least of value. They didn't bring in another offensive lineman of any value. They spend their 6th and 7th round picks on offensive linemen for their franchise quarterback. That's concerning. Yeah, no, they're going to be bad. That Justin Fields is still going to be scrambling around there like a madman his second year. And I think probably for the next 3 or 4, for being honest, they haven't even tried to get anybody on that offensive line. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it was bad. I
Yeah.
feel bad because I like Fields. I do. I'm going to go ahead and attack this team. A lot of things happened to them in the offseason. Lose Chandler Jones, lose J.J. Watt. DeAndre Hopkins suspended for 6 games. Traded for Marquise Brown, re-signed A.J. Green, lost Christian Kirk, who obviously to the NFL is a top 3 wide receiver in the game. That's awful. But you still have Kyler Murray. Whenever Kyler Murray's on the field, he can make magic happen. They're not the best team in the division. You know, I mean, you're not beating the Rams, bro.
Yeah, this is true.
I don't think they're a playoff team this season. I do think if they are, it's a 7 seed wild card by the grace of God.
Yeah.
I think the only real contenders in that division are San Fran and the Rams. And Kyler Murray looked awful in his first playoff game. I was not impressed at all. The Rams.
Yeah, no, that's tough. He's not ready for big games yet. He's really not. We can come back on him, maybe playoff bound if we're looking at it at the end of the list, depending on where we're at. But for now, good, not great is fine with me. The suspension is going to kill him, I think, with DeAndre Hopkins. You got Marquise Brown, but what is he like? Christian Kirk? So it's kind of the same you're going to get last year.
He's more explosive than Kirk for sure.
Yeah, I agree, but he's still going to play the same role.
I do like Trey McBride, though. I mean, I don't want to knock, that I do like Trey McBride, that draft pick. I think that's exciting. I think Hurts will have a big first 6 games. I'll go ahead and let you pick your team next.
Let's do. All right. Go ahead. I'm just going to I'm going to self-assign this team right off a rip. The Elena Falcons, I think, are not there yet, but probably have the quickest path to get there. They just drafted their quarterback, Desmond Ridder. He climbed up draft boards for a reason. I feel like as a dynasty guy and a fantasy football player, I see a lot of aspects of him like, okay, he can run, so that's good fantasy value. But NFL teams don't care about that. They look for pure NFL talent. I think there's a reason why we saw Malik Willis slide. A lot of teams had Desmond Ridder as a first-round grade. They just picked up their franchise receiver this year. They got their franchise tight end last year. I think they could be good here coming soon, but Marcus Mariota is not going to be that guy for them. They added defensive pieces over the time. I love Terrell as a corner. I think he's going to be great his whole career. I think the Falcons can get there soon, but they're definitely not what they were with Matt Ryan.
It's weird to me because I do think the organization, ever since the 28-3 game, has been in shambles. I also don't agree with trading Matt Ryan for a 3rd-round pick when you're covering 98% of his salary. The Colts got a free QB, got a free Hall of Famer. It's a little weird to me how that played out. Yeah. You drafted Drake London. Me and you talked about it. The separation concerns for Drake London, his ceiling, where does it fall? I love Kyle Pitts. I think he's generational. Love AJ Terrell. Love Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett is getting older as well.
Jarrett. Forgot about him.
Line is average. Draft capital, I'd have to ask Frankie what exactly their draft capital looks like. Not sure off the top of my head. But Arthur Smith has a plan, wants to run the ball. I didn't like that they didn't address that position. Frankie will tell you he's excited about Tyler Algier. Okay, I mean, am I? Not really, but we'll see. I like Ridder. I do. He did climb up a lot of people's boards. I'll put him there, but they don't have a true answer at not at a QB position either. I feel like Fields is more set off. Just the roster around him is worse. I think the Falcons could teeter-totter. I'll leave them there for now, though.
Would you lean towards putting them in trash?
I would, only because I just don't think I'm only saying this because I don't think the Falcons I just haven't liked their drafting in the last 4 years. Like,
I'm not too strong on it. You can put him in trash. We can adjust later if need be.
you're good. We'll leave him there for now. We'll because we're gonna have to adjust some things up here. But
Yeah.
so the next thing I want, I actually want to put the Saints here. Good, not great.
Yeah.
I think this is a good spot for them. Being $70 million over the cap going into the offseason. I thought it was going to get really bad, but they somehow managed to actually be okay. You did let Marcus Williams go. That hurts. Teron Armstead, those kind of guys. I don't even know if Slant Boy is going to play NFL down this year. You get Olave, you get Jarvis Landry, you get Tyrann Mathieu. It turned out all right for what it could have been. It turned out all right. They play in a very weak NFC South outside of Tampa Bay. I think they're good for 8-9 wins. I think they're average. I don't think they're going to be as bad as what Philly was projecting when they traded for that first round pick in 2023. I think they'll finish 10 to 12, 13 in that range. They're okay.
Yeah. I think Jameis is more than a serviceable quarterback to keep them out of a not there yet situation. I like Jameis a lot. He played great last year before injury, but they're definitely not in playoff conversation. They got a few stars on the team. I mean, Alvin Kamara didn't even mention him, but yeah, I don't think that there's a shot that they're playoff bound, but they're much better than every team in the not there yet list.
Okay. They're not better than the Dolphins. I'm just telling you that now.
Oh, I didn't say. I just said not better than. I mean, the Jags, Jets.
I thought you said in the good, not great. I was about to say.
Oh no, not there yet. No. They deserve to be in the good, not great tier.
All right. I was about to say they are not better than the Dolphins, bro.
No.
Sorry, I misunderstood you.
No, you're good.
I'm ready to put them here. I'm ready to put the Redskins. Well, the Commanders. Excuse me. This is the old logo. This is the
we missed it. Oh, should have got the Commanders logo. I'm sorry to all the indigenous people out there.
So they didn't address safety. They traded back. They took Jahan Dotson. They could have had Kyle Hamilton. I think that's a F- move. Love Jahan Dotson, but Kyle Hamilton is he's just one of those dudes that's a team changing safety. You let Brandon Sheriff walk. You're not even considering. You're thinking about letting Terry walk. You bring in Wentz, $28 million accrued to your quarterback. You draft Brian Robinson, because you don't believe in Gibson. You have McKissick there. There's a lot of questions around Washington. But their defense was always projected to be good. I love their defensive line. I love their front seven. I think the Commanders are better than any team we have in the trash department.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at it now, go ahead and move the Falcons down to trash. If we got a team like the Commanders in there, I don't think that the Falcons are near the Commanders, to be honest with you.
Things are about to get dicey, bro.
Yeah, things are going to get dicey. Yeah, you kind of touched on everything. Just kind of keep it moving. I don't love Carson Wentz as a quarterback. Don't think he's great. Don't think he can produce two great receivers. There's too many question marks in the backfield. What are they even doing there? Defense is supposed to be great, but really wasn't for most of the season last year. So definitely not there yet for the Commanders.
Another team I have ready to go. I personally think they're one of two teams that's going to make it out of the AFC West. Whether it be the Chiefs or the Chargers take it one, I'm ready to put them in playoff bound mode. This roster was a QB away. Fantasy purposes, we're obviously not excited about the Melvin Gordon signing for Javonte Williams' stock. Get it. But I love the 1-2 punch in real life. Melvin Gordon was beyond serviceable last year. Him and Javonte are a nasty 1-2 punch together. Get Russ. I mean, that's what it boils down to, bro.
That's the instant game changer. Yeah, that immediately puts them in playoffs for me.
Yeah. You get a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Defense is good. Offensive line is okay. A lot better than what he played with in Seattle. I think he's going to actually be, praying to God every night that this happened. I think Mile High is in for a good year.
Yeah.
Me and AJ have a bet. He said the Broncos don't win 9 games, 9 or more. I think that's a lock. I do. I think it's a lock for them to win 9 games. I can't wait for them. Like I said, I don't think they're better than the Chargers. I personally told you that I had it. I'm only giving them the respect, and respect is due because they've been to 3 AFC championships straight and 2 Super Bowls. The Chiefs deserve the respect. Yeah. I personally think the Broncos can split with them this year. I really do.
Yeah, Russ makes them instantly better. Enough said about them. Just like this is something I want to touch on. This is what's crazy and insane. Is like we were just talking about the Lions. They're a quarterback away. Even if they get a vet. You saw this year alone, the Broncos last year are probably in the not there yet with Drew Lock, and they instantly jumped up playoff bound. It's the same thing with the Lions. That's why I think I want to reiterate back to why we put them in the not there yet. I know that most of their roster is bad. They will be bad this year, but that's just crazy. Russ makes them that good. They go out and get a franchise quarterback. For, in my opinion, a great price. I mean, we're living in a world now where if you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to win playoff games, period. Russ is that guy, and I think it's 100% justifiable what they paid to get him.
Absolutely. It was hefty, but, I mean, to have a chance, they did it for Peyton. They got Peyton. They're going to do this. It makes sense. Yeah. AFC is loaded, bro.
You're right. Let's get this one out of the way. And I don't necessarily agree. I think next year we're looking at a much, much different story. But the Cleveland Browns, for now, I want to put them in good, not great. Let me just tell you why. I'll preface it. I think they could be playoff bound if they can play well without Deshaun Watson. I think we're going to see Deshaun miss some time. I think the NFL is going to make a point of it.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about Cleveland. Love their roster in general when it comes to a collective point. If Watson is on the field, they're instantly playoff bound. Not instantly. I mean, you're
not
playing.
Instantly, though,
yeah, I know the AFC's loaded.
Yeah,
but I mean, Watson just gives them the best chance at a playoff run that they could possibly have. 10 times, he's a 10 times better QB than Baker.
Yeah, definitely.
Your whole O-line's intact. You have a top 3 O-line. You have a great run game. You replaced Odell with Amari. You make some moves in the draft. Defense is always going to be their defense. They're good. They're a good defense. I personally want to leave them off for now, just because we don't know anything about Watson. The minute we know anything about Watson, we could make a fair assessment. Here's what I feel like it's not right to put them on this board without the Watson question being answered.
This is true. You want to
let's do the Bengals, bro.
No, hold on. Click this. Never mind. We won't even put the Browns on the list. If we could have another tier, we put them in TBD.
Yeah, to be determined.
Yeah.
Personally, so who do you think wins? Who do you think wins the AFC North? Do you think the loaded Ravens team coming back, dominant run game, control the clock type of team? Do you think they're favorite? You know what I mean? Because like whoever wins the AFC North, to win the AFC North, I personally think you're gonna have to win 12 games.
Yeah.
And that's
give me the Ravens. I think.
Right. So that means to me, because I think they bump up. I think if you're winning 12 games, I think you have a shot at a Super Bowl.
I think we keep them there. I don't think that they're on the level of any of those teams up there, to be honest.
I
will say, though, here's the thing about the Ravens. They can control the clock on offensive side of the ball, running it, and then they can manage on the other side with the defense as good as it is. And
I will say this. I think on this list, they have the second best defense on the Super Bowl contender list behind the LA Rams. I'm willing to put them there. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I am willing to put them there. Like I said, they have every aspect what it takes to win when it comes to January.
True.
I'll leave them there though, but I think this is obviously fair. I think Cincinnati deserves to be there. That run last year was special. You go in and beat Pat Mahomes. I mean, hey, shout out to you. You beat him twice.
Yeah.
You beat the kid. You beat the young goat twice. That's great. And they got better too. They did. Lyle Collins is a great addition. They added this Ali Marpa from Tampa Bay, and they added that center from New England. I can't remember the name on the center. I'm drawing a blank here, but whatever. You lost a leader. I don't think it's going to hurt them, obviously, but CJ Uzomah was a leader in the locker room. You never want to lose leaders. You never want to lose veteran leaders. You didn't lose Jesse Bates. That was huge. Jesse Bates stayed. Good. Great. Their defense in general, their run defense was suspect, but they're a solid team, man. Honestly, I'm willing to say it, going to be the best offense in the AFC for the next 7 years.
Yeah, Bengals definitely playoff bound. They just made it to the bowl. How did they not make the list? Joe Burrow is a pure leader. Not much to say there. He wants to win, and he's going to do whatever it takes, to be honest with you. I think he'll get a Super Bowl at some point, but I don't know. I don't know yet.
No, hold on.
Whoa.
No, hold on. Yeah, I messed with it. My fault. I hit the wrong button.
Now go up. Yeah.
There we go. My fault. My apologies, guys.
No.
I was trying to get it to where I could add another thing here, because obviously there's no more spots for here unless I can drag and drop.
Yeah, you can drag and drop. You're good. It'll just put it in.
Okay, I see. Okay, my fault. Okay.
Let's knock the Raiders out. I'm trying to round this up, so we'll kind of make this quick. The Raiders are in a sad situation where they have the roster to make the playoffs, but I think they're not going to see the other side of it. I mean, I don't think they're better than the Chiefs, Chargers, or Broncos. Just a sad situation there in Oakland.
And their offense is loaded too, bro.
Their offense is loaded. But I just think they're the odd man out in that division, and that's the only reason that you can put them in good, not great. I think you put them in any other division, they could be playoff bound. But
and I want to say too, I love Josh McDaniels. I'm a big fan of Josh McDaniels. He's been an offensive guru for a long time. His playbook is very complex. Derek Carr is obviously your guy. You signed him to a big contract. Man, like you said, it sucks because they're good enough to make the playoffs. Just the AFC this year is out of control.
It's nuts.
I think because the NFC is so loaded, or NFC is not loaded like the AFC, I can just put them here. I mean, like you said, hasn't been a repeat NFC East winner since the Eagles did it last. Excuse me. Dak had some losses for sure in this team. Lose Cedric Wilson, lose Amari Cooper, lose Lyle Collins, lose Connor Williams. I mean, like I said, those hurt. But I think they're okay. You keep Tyron Smith, you got Zach Martin. Obviously, you just drafted this kid from Tulsa. Plays a little handsy for me. The questions got to be answered about that, but you retain Michael Gallup to play along CeeDee Lamb. You now let CeeDee Lamb take over the wide receiver one role that he should have taken over. I don't love their running backs. I don't think Pollard's a true 3-down workhorse back. Zeke's aging. Trayvon Diggs got exposed at times last year. Led the league in interceptions, though. He's good at playing the ball. This roster is good enough to win games. They are playoff bound. I think the NFC is significantly weaker than the AFC. That's how I feel about it. But I don't think they're the best team in the NFC East.
Yeah. So here it is. This is the apex right here. We have one team left in the Patriots and one playoff team left to give out. Now, I'm assuming that you say this for last so we can have the argument of will the Dolphins or will the Patriots make it into the playoffs?
Let me see this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We got 13, 14 make playoffs, right?
6. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got one more spot left for playoffs here.
I mean, if that's the case,
I mean, you can even argue.
All right. So here's what we'll do.
Dolphins, Patriots.
Here's what we'll do. These are my 4 teams from the AFC that will be playoff. One of these 4. So here's where I'm at with it. Elite QB play will always get you there. Elite run game. If I know Watson's playing, I'm gonna say Watson plays 11 games. He misses 6. Just say that. Let's just throw that out there. I easily think it's this.
And then everybody else moves down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and let you get your jits.
Yeah, no, I would tend to agree with you. Just to touch on the Patriots real quick. I like Mac Jones. I think he's a pretty good talent. I just don't think that they can make it. Bill Belichick, God bless his soul. They did add Devontae Parker, but he can't stay on the field to save his life. He might play 7 games. Tyquan Thornton, just a speedy guy. We don't really know outside of that what he really is. I think you're right. If Watson only faces a 6-game suspension, I think easily the Browns. I think Deshaun is a huge difference maker. They certainly paid him to be. The Browns with Deshaun Watson is going to be exciting, but as of right now, we can't exactly put him there.
But I'm telling you this. If it's double-digit games, this is where I'm at. You know I love this Dolphins roster more than you. I'm a fan, bro. Like I said.
Well, put the Raiders back in good, not great. I think that they're out either way, to be honest with you.
I think you could see the Raiders have a great roster and possibly lose all 6 games in division.
Yeah. And then
it's rough, bro.
If that's the case, put the Patriots in good but not great.
All right. So here's my last question.
Record, I'm gonna let Steve have this one. For anybody that's still out there, I do think that the Patriots and Dolphins might flop here. I'm happy other than that. Obviously the Browns can't really rank them. Deshaun comes back in and we immediately put him in playoff bound. If he misses any more than 8 games, you're looking at the good but not great, and that'll about do the tier list for us.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, man. It just comes down to the question of what happens with Watson. Taking it over to baseball, Trevor Bauer just got suspended for 2 years for his sexual assault allegations and things like that. Obviously in an appeal. I think the NFL will probably try to set an example. But all charges got dropped. I'm not going to get into any legal.
It's a touchy subject. We don't need to touch on.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, all charges got dropped. I do think Watson gets suspended. If it's double-digit games, this is how I like to leave it. You think the Patriots can flop with the Dolphins, but I'm good here. Yeah. But in 2023, the Browns will be a playoff team.
Yeah, next year. That's what I was saying before we even ranked them. Is like 100% next year. It's a different story.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think this list is pretty spot on.
Yeah, I like what we did here. That'll about to wrap it up, boys. Ran a little longer than expected, but
the only question I wanted to ask you though, like I said, if you have the Ravens who are coming back fully healthy, probably one of the best defenses in the NFL when healthy, adding Kyle Hamilton, ability to run the ball, control the clock, and you have Lamar at QB, who's an absolute winner. Do you think they should go up a tier? That's my only question too.
Yes, but Lamar hasn't really shown he's got it in the playoffs yet.
I mean, fair. That's
Yeah.
fine. Like I said, I haven't been overly impressed with Lamar in the playoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
that loss to Tennessee and Baltimore was rough. But the year after, I mean, they go beat Tennessee. They get beat the next game. Okay. I get it. But I like the list. I think we're good. I think this is where it needs to be. You say Patriots and Dolphins flop. I'm willing to stay here. I would, you know what I mean? I think it's close. I like it.
No, that would be tight.
But let's do this. I would love to. I would save this, so I got that for the thing.
Well, let's got the podcast up first, and we can save afterwards.
I already saved it to the thing. I just wanted to save it. But anyway, like I said, Ryan, I appreciate you coming in and talking. It was great just to talk football, man. Go ahead, get your last little spiel in, man. Talk to the public.
So people still here, might as well like and subscribe, leave a comment, anything we need to do, run down, the deal. I'm not sure how many people have made it to this point, so if you do, let us know. We think we're improving, but we don't really know at the end of the day. We don't get a lot of feedback. So anything we can get to improve is much needed, and love all the support we're getting.
We appreciate you guys. All right. That'll do it for tonight. We're out, fellas.